Welcome to the parody where we tell it the victims and all your favorite media. You're just gonna have to admit the fact that there's not gonna be a title card, but regardless of that, I'm Disassembly Drone Jenny. Today we're looking at the third episode of Murder Drones, The Promening, released in 2023. The Promening, well, can't you tell? It's a prom episode. Unfortunately for Uzi, she's been banished from seeing the disassembly drones. However, one look at the episode's thumbnail easily says that, yep, she just goes and meets him anyways. But how could they not meet again? It leads to the best part so far in the 3 episodes I've covered. There's a reason this parody episode is played up in the title and thumbnail. And also, consequently, the thumbnail to this video. I'd say on its own, this is one of the easiest episodes to follow the events of. That is, until you get to the end with all those bodies, come on! Before that, the episode doesn't really have that much countable kills. And there is also an introduction I'll leave to the very end. Will the new setting and new character introduction bring us more kills in the episodes to follow? I don't know right now, but I do know that we're about to get to the kills for this episode. Let's get to them. The episode begins at Prom 3071, where lights are being turned off before it even opens. We immediately get presented to what appears to be an entire board of missing drones. However, this female drone will probably be put on that missing persons report in no time. That's because it's pretty obvious to see that these cameras are being messed with. It's Doll, and she wants to start her own kill count as well. She starts off by tearing off her arm with the absolute solver telekinesis. And eventually this trio of butcher's knives goes into the worker drone's body off screen. Just so I don't get comments about it, I will say now that student's name that you can see in the kill graphic was Kelsey. So there you go. Doll arrives back at home and greets her parents, although we have to remember now she doesn't have them anymore. We get some flashbacks over to last episode before Uzi ultimately wakes up. It's groan-worthy enough to where she groans through her entire day of school. That would basically be me if I don't get these episodes out by August 17th. She is knocked down from her stack of books, so she throws it at her, only to hit Brayden, whose head is burning. She then goes over to grab, another book, only to find out all about these 22 missing posters. She finds out about the murder scene and the tampered with cameras, and she puts 2 and 2 together. Yeah, Uzi, that's gonna come in use later. Some very fine additions to my collection, and hey, wait, where did it all go? Turns out it all went with Khan in a closet full of kooky insane stuff. When Khan walks on Uzi, she's mad at him for very obvious reasons. In Khan, she doesn't care about your rules, and she wants you to know that she can be vulnerable for at least 5 seconds. After she says she's gonna talk to En, she stumbles upon her dress. And since she's banned from seeing the disassembly drones, he has some other people that she can go with, Lizzie and Doll. Spoiler alert, Lizzie has a very memorable line before Doll does. And Khan's the chaperone, Uzi's worst nightmare. Speaking of the other drones, here are their outfits, and that En wants to look dapper and stuff. But En might have second thoughts about that. V, however, has other plans.
Show up fabulous. The sad purple one lets us in, because she has no friends. We kill everyone and pop her little head off.
Only half of that first point needs to be fulfilled. Only En needs to fulfill that first point. But En, like always, is worried about it because they had possibly grown up in a haunted mansion and Jay went crazy. Although this seems to actually upset V. She doesn't want Uzi and En getting into that stuff and promises to him that if he frees her now, she will only murder what they need to. Back at Doll's place, Uzi nopes out right away to hang out with her friends. Or friend. But the doors close on her right away. Lizzie's probably the least of the worries right now. What should be worried about is Doll's teleportation and all the missing posters in her trash can. Doll gives Uzi directions, which will later be a big mistake for Doll. En tries negotiating with V, saying that they can find out who they really are together, but V doesn't actually want that. Instead, En is actually decapitated by V in what V calls the best thing for En. Uzi gets herself ready into a mirror, which also triggers the absolute solver. It cracks the mirror and Uzi hears something that she wasn't supposed to.
No one will notice she's missing. Just do your thing and I'll let in be. We'll see you there.
But it appears that this tub with the red lighting making it look like actual blood is more concerning. What Uzi finds shocks her. En wakes up only to find that V is missing, so he tries exiting before he remembers Dapper ran. Uzi's search behind that curtain led to Doll's cracked mirror collection. She hears someone walking towards the bathroom, so she thinks fast. What about the vents on the ceiling? Doll walks in there and very quickly assesses what has happened.
Как они по-русски любят говорить.
Ой, я должна была предположить, что кто-то сможет убежать через вентиляцию, используя выброшенное зеркало как ступеньки.
Uzi is very quickly running outside the colony when Anne appears in front of her. It then gets awkward in between them pretty quickly. I'm sorry, Uzi. In actuality, Uzi could use his help with him being there with her. There's way too many dancers here for me to count this prom, so it's a good thing that none of them end up dying. In fact, it's getting all the women and men interested. I saw that guy back there. Khan, however, is looking for something and sees the time. It's too late. Since prom queen announcement starring Lizzie has begun. Since all the other candidates had mysteriously disappeared, she has a replacement. It's V. We gotta remember that was foreshadowed earlier on. It initially sends everyone into panic, but turns out they were hanging out. Also, look at this for a second. See how she's staring at her? You see this? Do you see this? There's no way she's straight.
Prom queen?
Yeah, V, that's you. And with all of Doll's planning, it worked perfectly. There actually appears to be worrying before she continues the prom queen stuff. Her dad can also dock grades, and she also forces Rebecca to apologize to V. Her statement about her dad docking grades leads fans to believe that the teacher is actually Lizzie's father. When she does, everyone starts cheering. Khan thinks about leaving, but due to the absolute solver, the door can't be opened. V actually goes up to the mic, putting Doll's plans in full swing. However, Lizzie gets more worried and worried as she proceeds to step on the red X. Doll is about to murder V before V starts speaking on the mic. It almost happens before N and Uzi come in to ruin it. And here is where that amazing line happens.
On second thought, you're way harder than Doll. Run, idiot!
How do you not see this? And also, plus, it says this on Lizzie's page on the wiki. I don't know if it's actually true, but I'm taking everything I can get. And also, plus, that other frame comes into play. Do you not see how any of this correlates? It's also unknown if this was an actual compliment or an attempt at flattery. But in the last episode, she did call Hologram, which, to be fair, was herself gorgeous. So, yeah, let's just say it was an actual compliment. We win! Doll impales V in both of her arms and throws Lizzie away. 2 people die, Penny with a neck snap and crushing, and another guy who just explodes. Before we get to the fight scene that happens here, I'm just gonna have a whole lot of production info. Murder Drones was produced by Glitch Productions, which falls under the SMG4 YouTube channel. Both channels on guest studios are founded by Kevin and Luke Lederchigul in 2011 and 2017 respectively. Murder Drones is definitely Glitch's most well-known and popular series. Before Murder Drones, they ended 2 series they originally had, Meta Runner and Sunset Paradise, which, like I said, have now ended. Currently, this makes Murder Drones their only ongoing series. Not much is known about the show's production before then, but it was in production for at least a year before the pilot premiered, so let's just make an estimate and say that the show started production around 2020. The main character, Uzi, is voiced by Elsie Lovelock, who's having a time in the web animation career lately. She had voices in Meta Runner, the main SMG4 channel, and I don't think we're gonna talk about that. And here is voiced by Michael Kovac, who also voiced the SMG Zero Niles and Fred in SMG4 in Rocky Rickaby and Lackadaisy. Finally, among the main 3 is V, voiced by Nola Klopp. And also, brief side note, she also voiced worker drone Sarah, who did not die in Heartbeat. That was actually a completely other drone, and it was confirmed on her Twitter account that Sarah is actually in fact still alive. It should also be noted as a big coincidence that Elsie, Michael, and Nola had all voice on Poppy Playtime. Alright, back to counting the kills. Doll put some flashbacks into V's head, and apparently whatever happened here traumatized Doll. But seriously, now we're starting what's probably the best part of the episode outside of that one singular line. Doll throws a knife and cuts off V's arm. After N and Uzi contemplate about helping V, Doll throws the ceiling fan with blades over at her, only for N and Uzi to save the day. I don't think Doll agrees. Meanwhile, the telekinesis keeping that door open is freed, so everyone can escape the prom. The reason why Uzi sided with these murder drones is basically because she's done solving all of her problems alone. N is impaled for a leg, and Doll starts throwing more ceiling fan blades at N, but N pushes Uzi away so he can save her. V's throw N and V way back. Meanwhile, Doll reactivates the powers on the door. Doll generates another knife and telekinetically throws it at Uzi, which appears to hit, but it just went for her hand, so she takes the knife out of said hand. Doll tries everything she can, but nothing she does phases Uzi. V finds her arm and is called a loser. A knife triggers some disco lights. I just gotta show you some more of his fight scene because there's no way I can put it into words. Uzi is trapped on the ground by whatever appears to be some more microphone stands, rods maybe, I don't know. Doll throws some telekinesis knives at Uzi only for N to stop the attack. This causes some insane choreography that goes along with the music in the background, which ends with an explosion and some knife throwing that almost hits Doll. I have to commend the scores for a second because it is legitimately amazing. And if I don't say anything positive about it, V's gonna kill me in my sleep. Huge shout out to Murder Drones composer AJ Despirito, who literally made every single song in the show, and I guarantee you each and every one of them is good. The music being played during this scene, the knife dance, is a fan favorite among fans, and I can totally see why. And in Uzi have a small character moment before the fight continues. And I just have to show you the rest of this fight scene. It is legitimately the best part of the show I've covered so far. No contest. Doll almost kills Uzi with the absolute solver before V shoots her through the face. Let's count this for fun, partially because it was V. However, I will say now that Doll does come back in future episodes. However, Uzi doesn't like the fact that V has just killed Doll. Her reasoning is that they needed answers from her. However, not all hope is lost, as Doll's keys have been found. All of them enter her, living quarters only to see, come on! Counting all 23 worker drones here would have been absolutely hard if not for the fact that earlier we saw a whole bunch of missing posters. In that shot earlier, I could count 22. The figure of 23 includes this guy, who I don't think was missing on the posters. I will note here that it's very heavily implied that Doll had been eating all these worker drones, which is something only the disassembly drones have been able to do so far. The pot that Uzi finds probably proves that she was eating them. This figure of 22 does not count Doll's parents. However, as far as I can know, all of the people in the missing posters were female, so I'm only assuming the one extra one I added was male, meaning that today we're gonna have a very red pie chart. Uzi is led to where Doll's parents are, and it's revealed that her mother's name was Yeva. Eventually, Doll glitches back into the room. The effects of the bullet are reversed, and the bullet is forced back to Uzi. However, the Absolute Solver's telekinesis holds the bullet in midair, which stopped it from going to Uzi. The bullet then flies through a window. They quickly need answers, but before it's too late, Doll teleports away. Outside, a worker drone named Reed finds his glasses. In no time at all, a whole bunch of landing pods crash right next to him. A new character pops up and quickly gets a kill when they decapitate Reed with a sword. This new character's name is Tessa, and the episode ends by revealing that Jay's been completely rebuilt. Hey Jay, I have the keys for the car. You want to go buy some dead worker drones? I'd also like to note that Knife Dance is the credit scene for this episode. Completely worth it. How many people died in this theoretical confirmation of lesbianism? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Not this again. 29 people died in the Promening, with the victims consisting of, strangely enough, 4 men and 25 women, giving us the biggest ratio of women to men on the parody. With a run time of 19 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 39.31 seconds. I'll give Amethyst Flamethrower to serial designation N. It was a sudden kill, and it did kind of match up with V's reasoning. Broken Pistol will be going to the 23 worker drones in Doll's living space? I don't know. But you can very obviously see why, it's just a whole bunch of bodies. And that's it. Murder Drones Episode 3 to Promening was released in February 2023 and will be followed up by Episode 4, Cabin Fever, which I'll be looking at in the next few days. But until then, I'm Disassembly Drone Jenny, and this has been the parody. Thanks a lot for watching this parody. We're now halfway through the August Murder Drone Spectacular that'll lead up to Episode 6 on August 18th. I hope I can do Cabin Fever as quickly as I did this one, because then that'll give me extra time to do Episode 5. Regardless of that, thanks for watching.